So right now in the health and wellness space, we find ourselves in this area of information overload. So one trainer says to do this, one nutritionist says to do this PCOS professional says to do this for your diet, your exercise, your sleep, your hormones, right? So we're constantly scrolling on social media, seeing all this information, and we have this information overload. And in one sense, it's great because we have all this access to health and wellness and nutrition information. But on the other hand, there is so much out there that we have to filter to get back to the basics. But how did we get here? Because right now, this area seems to be filled with, you can lose weight without any restrictions. You shouldn't be restricting anything in your diet. That's a bad mindset to have. No restrictions. But in one sense, I think we have found ourselves overcorrecting because what happened? For those of us that grew up in the early 2000s, there was every magazine and tabloid saying you had to be this big in order to be pretty, and red meat was bad, and then butter was bad, and then only vegetable oils, and then all of a sudden kale was really bad for you, and everything was bad for you, and we found ourselves in this scarcity mindset and this huge just diet culture. So the only way to lose weight was if you cut out all of your favorite foods. The only way to lose weight was to cut out every single carb. And now, fast forward, we see a reel on Instagram saying, I lost 80 pounds and I didn't have to cut out any carbs. And so when I'm talking to women who are looking to, say, have some weight loss goals, and they come in with this mindset of, well, I didn't think I was gonna have to give some things up. I like to kind of break it down and take a pause and say, well, what that person on social media isn't telling you is what kind of carbs are they eating? What kind of fats? What kind of meats are they eating to fuel themselves so that they can gain enough muscle mass to maintain their weight loss? So by that, I mean, this influencer isn't saying, I ate donuts and pizza and, my favorite cookies every single day for all 3 meals, and I was still able to lose weight. Probably not. Their carbs, more often than not, are coming from berries, apples, bananas, carrots, sweet potatoes, white rice, things that are going to fill up their plate, not just with the proper carbohydrates they need, but with more nutrients. So for example, I'll tell some clients, here is my breakfast that I have almost every day. It's around 450 calories. It has egg whites, some normal egg, sprouted grain toast, grass-fed butter, about a whole tablespoon actually, and a mix of berries. And that's my breakfast. And the plate is big, and I'm close to feeling full afterward. And they'll say, well, I don't eat very much, and I'm still not losing weight. But their breakfast is a coffee with some cream and maybe a muffin or 1 egg, and what they eat could end up being the same amount of calories as my plate, but the amount of protein, fat, and carbs in theirs and the nutrients that they're missing do not equate to what I have on my plate for breakfast, right? With a lot of these whole foods that are making me feel full, but they're also full of all the nutrients I need to start my day right. And so when we're scrolling with this information overload and we're going from one extreme to the next, it's important to remember that we are finally trying to come back to this balance of eat in moderation. But what does moderation actually look like for us? It's not eat in moderation every day or every week. It's eat 80-20% whole foods, 20% the fun foods for an entire month. Or an entire, couple months. And that looks a lot different practically than eating in moderation every single day. And if you have very specific goals, you are going to have to say no to some things so that you can say yes just for the time being until you meet those goals.